All right, welcome back. So, today I have a very fun video. Instead of a speed run, this is a level from my Deadly Solo Only Challenge. So, I am trying to play through the game just with characters soloing scenarios on Deadly difficulty. So, this time it is the Cragheart. I did the first scenario with the Spellweaver, and I did the second one with the Brute. And this is the third scenario in the game, Inox Encampment. So the goal in this scenario is to kill a number of Inox equal to 5 times the number of members in the party. So we technically have a Mind Thief in the party, even though he's not pulling any weight. So I need to kill 10 Inox. And all of these are Inox Guards, Inox Archer, and an elite Inox Shaman. So I need to kill 10 enemies total, which is a bit of a tall task for just one character, and especially because the Cragheart does not have that much damage. The Cragheart doesn't super excel at dealing damage. So we're going to have to see how this goes. You can see my initial strategy right here in the very beginning is to get up next to these 2 ranged damage dealers and go ahead and create a rock slide wall. Now this is going to force those melee guards to walk through those vines over on the right in order to get up and personal with me. So this is deadly difficulty. Traps deal 9 damage, which means hazardous terrain does half rounded down. So these vines are going to deal 4 damage. This archer, he wounds with every attack, which is very, very annoying. And he also immobilizes me on this turn. That's not that bad. I don't really need to move. I'm far enough away from these guards that I believe 4 is the most they can move. So I'm not in any risk to taking big damage. And this shaman didn't deal anything super deadly on turn 1. So a very good turn 1 overall. I'm not upset about being immobilized. So my biggest issue here, I need to kill 10 enemies. Oh, and also every 4 turns a guard is going to be spawning where that spawner is, right next to that door, until I open that door. So my basic plan here is to set up a ton of obstacles and lead all of the guards through an obstacle course and have them step on the hazardous terrain along the way. Since they're melee, I can kite them out really easily, and I just need to kill these ranged damage dealers because they're the ones who are really threatening me. Mind Thief is going to hide in the corner. I think that's a highly effective strat. It's definitely a good place for the Mind Thief to be. So I'm going to go ahead and play my first loss here. I don't have enough damage, I don't have enough tools or resources to kill this archer quickly. And so I really think that the best thing to do is actually to just burn a lost card and petrify him into stone. So this Cragheart, he is level 8. I'm not letting myself do any level 9s on this playthrough because if you're level 9, it's no longer deadly difficulty technically. It would just be +2. So level 8 is the highest I can go, where I still have the correct difficulty. Also, I did not get myself any extra gold. So I just created this Cragheart. This is the first scenario he's played. So he started with 135 gold since he was level 8. And that is all I used. I didn't get any extra gold, so you can see I don't have a helmet, I don't have a chest piece, I'm missing one of my hand slots. The only healing potion I have is a minor healing potion, because that is all I could afford. Definitely made this challenge very, very difficult, having so few resources. So now that I have that Inox Archer down, I just need to kill this Inox Shaman. These Shaman are super, super annoying. They can move at 8 and disarm you. They can move at 9 and immobilize you. They have, I believe, 6 of their cards are ranged attacks, and 2 of them are heals. So I would most like to see the heals, and I really don't want to see those attacks, just because I don't have very much health and I have almost no healing. That is why I am now that I've gotten rid of that archer, I am just going to be focusing down on this shaman. And he drew his pesky disarm card here, so I'm really glad that I stunned him with my stun powder on the previous turn. These guys are just going to set up their shield and retaliate. So that I completely break all of the laws of probability and statistics in this level. I don't know how these guards managed to pull their 15 speed standstill card as many times as they did. It's got to be at least half of all of the turns they managed to find their 1/4 chance of pulling those cards. But since I have this obstacle from the Inox Archer that I petrified into stone, Brutal Momentum gets to deal an extra 2 damage, so the 4 damage from the trap plus the 2 damage from the push, and then a wound. Slowly but surely, I'm able to chip down this Inox Elite Shaman. Just gotta I have to make the right decisions with all of my cards. I'm not a very good Cragheart player. I have only played a Cragheart in physical up to level 3 when I was playing over Skype with a friend, just pointing my phone at the board so that he could see, and then he tells me his moves, and I put his pieces there. That was a lot of fun. But I only played the Cragheart to level 3, and it was actually kind of on this scenario, once we got around to it, that we just figured we couldn't do it, and I changed my character. So I'm not a very good Cragheart player, so it takes me a while to pick out my turns, and I have not routed this the way I route a speedrun. I just sat down and tried the challenge. I did think about it all day while I was at work today, but it's kind of hard because I don't really know the cards. So you can see I got absolutely miserable luck here. I really wanted to kill this Inox Shaman, but he immobilized me. And I had a melee attack, and then I get crit. That is just a terrible turn. Immobilized so I don't get to deal the damage to kill the one really big threat, and then crit for 8 damage. Just awful. And now, of course, this Inox the Shaman is healing himself, so he's going to get rid of the wound that I gave him. Terrible. At least he does come forward so that he blocks. Actually, I guess he doesn't really block the way for any of these guys because that guy didn't have enough movement to reach me. Very lucky to draw the miss there, but I did get crit the previous turn, so it balances out. And then they get a +2. So with my very limited gold, really lucky here that I actually have Brutal Momentum as my card pulled, and then I get the +2, which is exactly the damage that I needed for him to die. So that worked out. That definitely worked out in my favor. So with my very limited gold, I was trying to figure out what my best use of it would be, and I think that I definitely made the right decision in adding Wound to Massive Boulder. Massive Boulder's always just been one of my favorite cards. An attack for 3, everything around it suffers 1. It's just beautiful. And so I threw a wound on there, and then I used my very limited money to buy a Vicious Bomb. I got a miss, a -1, and a +0 with a level 8's attack modifier deck. That is just miserable. And of course, these guys are just staying still, but at least I've got them wounded now, so they're going to start ticking down over time. But I really need them to, they need to move about 8 steps or so on average to get over to those vines over on the right, so I'd really like for them to start coming towards me. But at least it does give me some time that I can heal up. You can notice that I'm at least 2 hexes away from my rock wall. That way, even if they draw their 1 ranged attacking card, since it's only 2 range, they'll still have to walk all the way through the vines to get over to me. And here they come, finally. So they didn't quite get to the vines. That is such a nice clump. I really wish I could do some AoE damage. I think right here I'm even considering walking over and rock sliding them, but I would only be able to deal 6 damage total. It just wouldn't be worth it. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and open up this guy. I do need to kill 10 enemies overall. I've killed 2, and I had 5 in my main room. So now with a 6, that gives me 8 enemies total. But I'm very low. I do not want to be hit again in this scenario, at least not until I heal again. Because with 6, I would die to pretty much any +2, and I would die to all crits. But Rock Slide is MVP, creating my little rock walls, and then I get my vines. Maybe I need to go through and actually count who does more damage in this scenario, the vines or the Cragheart. It's probably the vines. Or wounding. Wounding might deal the most. Nah, not nearly as much as the vines. So once again, they get their 15 speed card, their standstill. Honestly, I think that this was bad luck for me. You can see I went at 21, which is faster than all of their move cards. Their fastest move card is 30, which means that this guy right in front of me, who I'm pushing back right now, I would have been able to go faster than him, push him back, and then run over to the right, and he wouldn't have been able to damage me no matter what. So it was bad luck for me for them to not move, just because I really want those guys over in the top right to start taking up damage. I didn't even notice when my Mind Thief died. That poor guy. And once again, they're not moving. I cannot... It is just so unlikely. It is statistically amazing that I got the luck that I did with them moving as little as they did. But now I can get a wound on this guy. This guy, I mean, he's in such a weird position since he's not spawning with the other group, and he's so far away, so I really need to take care of him. There's Dig Pick Top. So, I mean, talk about an amazing card. A 2 damage stun trap. That is what I like to see. So these guys, they're all going to strengthen themselves, and finally we get a death. Vines get their first kill. Vines deal big damage over here. I thought it would be perfectly safe to long rest here, but unfortunately, of course, that was why I laid my Dig Pick trap, so that this guy would be stunned, but he draws his ranged card. But he just gets the 0. +2 or crit would have killed me, but those are the only 2 things that would have killed me. So I survived. I made it through. Unfortunately, the Dig Pit trap didn't get to go off. They're not moving again, and this is another case where it's probably bad RNG, because I was going at 23, which is faster than all their moves, so I was going to be able to get over here and get safe. And then it was impossible for them to draw their ranged attack card because they drew that last turn, and that is not a shuffle. But Brutal Momentum gives me my kill on the guy who was all by himself. And how many enemies is that now? That's 5 enemies left with 4 enemies killed. So I need at least 1 more. So I need to figure out who my last enemy is going to be. I could open up one of the other 4 rooms. One of them has a white shaman. One of them has a white archer. One of them, I believe, has 2 white guards. And then the room up top has an elite archer, but it also has some traps that I could use to damage. But now I am finally in the perfect situation where these guys have gotten close enough to me that they can start trying... They've gotten close enough to me that I can start wailing on them from over the wall. So I can get a wound on this guy who isn't wounded, and then just back up so that if they get their ranged attack, they have to walk through the traps to get to me. I just love this strategy. Of course, they're not moving. It's... should have known. Definitely do not want to use that loss. Yeah. My stamina is looking pretty good, but it's not guaranteed. I could definitely get some bad luck and misposition. The main thing that's going to be difficult here for the rest of the scenario for me is just having the speed that I need. I think I only have 2 cards left that are faster than 30, which is a very important benchmark to hit, since that is the fastest they can move and hit me. But once again, they don't move. I would love for them to move. That guy would step on my Dig Pit trap, and then I just had to make sure I hid away in the room so that I would have a safe long rest. And they don't move again. Completely insane RNG. Not in a good way. Insanely annoying. But since it has been so long that these guys haven't been moving, they've been standing still, my final enemy has spawned. So now all I have to do, 3 turns in a row. Unreal. All I have to do is kill the guys who are on the board, and I should win this scenario. The one time I don't want the guards to actually do anything. But I got to get my second Dig Pit trap up, so that's the real win in this scenario. So I figured these 2 guys down here, neither of them are really going to be much of an issue, especially not that guy since he's wounded. So I figured I would go ahead and get up here and create my choke point number 3. This map gives me 3 vine patches. I might as well use 3 vine patches. so I can wall off and damage this guy a little bit. And I just need to kill these 4 and I will win. This took me... this was not my first attempt. So it took me about an hour and a half overall of trying this scenario before I was able to get it down. Finally, they're moving again. I didn't even know they could do that. Moving forward, too. That's so nice. And so, of course, my good luck of them finally moving gets immediately countered by getting crit. The only thing that would have killed, because of +2 I would have survived. But, you know. Gonna have the bad luck somewhere. But I get to get another wound off. And at this point you can see it's looking pretty good. I need this 9 health guy over on the right. He just needs to step on the vines twice and then get a little love tap and he'll die. The 2 guys who are wounded, they're gonna die really easily. This one guy who's right in front of me, he's pretty annoying. And I had to throw Dig Pit away. That is a travesty. Most everyone probably will always use Dig Pit for the bottom for going invisible, but in this scenario, as soon as I have those ranged enemies killed from the very beginning, I really don't want to go invisible at all. I just want these guys to be seeing me the whole time and take some damage. So a little bit more Rock Slide, just a little tiny bit more chip. There's the love tap that I'll need over on that guy on the right. And then now the guy up top is at the point where he will die to 3 more vines exposures. So this is looking very safe. So I do get a 4th guy spawning in here, or an extra guy. But that's not going to end up mattering. This guy has 7 health, I get to hit him for 5. But most importantly, he gets the wound on him. And this +1 right here is actually very, very useful because given where I'm positioned, if they draw their ranged attack card, they will hit me during this long rest, and that is what they draw. But since I got that +1, these guys are both going to die to their wounds, and so I don't have to worry about that damage. I greatly disagree with the game for moving that guy that direction. I mean, technically there's one spot where he can hit me from range, but come on, just have him step on the traps, step on the vines. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not being greedy. Time to retire Rock Slide. Rock Slide definitely put in the work in this scenario, and I just need to kill one more guy. And at this point, I think it's pretty easy to see that this is going to be a victory. By the time they can get to me, they're going to take a ton of damage. I've got a couple cards that I can ditch if I need to lose a card and not take damage. 3 cards left. I just need to survive 2 turns, and this guy dies to his wounds. And that is all I have. That is Inox Encampment on deadly difficulty with a solo Cragheart. I think next I will be attempting Crypt of the Damned with a Mind Thief. I don't know if it's possible, but we will find out together. Have a good one.